This is the Shaver Prep Football Podcast, episode 11, presented by Aquarius Home Services and brought to you by Truestone Financial and Culver's. And we'll name our Culver's Player of the Week in just a few minutes. How about the biggest upset of the week? Friday night, Class 6A, Eastridge knocked off number one Lakeville North 41-17. And one of the highlights in this game was this: a made 56-yard field goal by Luke Ryerson of Eastridge, second longest made field goal in Minnesota prep history. The record is 57 yards, set in 2003. But back in August, Luke made this 67-yard field goal in practice. Amazing. And I asked him if that is his range.
Feel like that's your range?
Depending on the situation, somewhere around there. Yeah, we definitely push it past 60 consistently in practice and pregame. And yeah, I'd say there's somewhere around 60. That's my range. Yeah.
It sure is. And Luke Ryerson of Eastridge is our Talk North Walk the Talk winner this week. A 56-yard made field goal is the longest in Minnesota in 21 years. Luke is 5 for 6 in field goals made this season, and he's averaging almost 45 yards per punt. He's verbally committed to play football and baseball for the Gophers. Big football games last week. Totino Grace, number 2 in Class 4A, knocked off number 3 Orono 11-8, and in Class 5A, number 2 Moorhead beat number 1 Alexandria 36-34. Both those teams came in undefeated. In the Battle of the Jug, played at Chaska High School, defending 5A champion Chanhassen in front of a capacity crowd beat the rival Hawks 21-10. And with Mankato West upsetting Mankato East, the Storm earned the number 1 seed in Section 2, Class 5A. Of course, this is the final week of regular season football in Minnesota, and in 6A, many of the teams are playing on Thursday with the seeding meetings set for Friday, and that's when the playoff bracket will come out. And so we'll get a chance to see it first, live right here on Talk North this Friday morning, October 18th at 10 a.m. We'll bring you the 6A playoff brackets before they're released to the public. I'll be joined by 4 coaches in studio, and we'll break down all the matchups. That's this Friday morning at 10 a.m. on the Talk North Shaver Prep Football Podcast YouTube page. We hope you'll tune in. Should be a lot of fun. By the way, those 4 coaches in studio on Friday will be Nick Johnson, the head football coach at Egan; Brad Beeskow, the head coach of the Forest Lake Rangers; Ray Benton, head coach of the Shakopee Sabres; and Maple Grove's first-year head coach, Adam Spurl. Those 4 will help me break down the 6A playoff matchups. Well, last fall, Maxwell Woods led Chanhassen to the Class 5A State Football Championship, the first in their history. Maxwell was named Minnesota's Mr. Football, and boy, did he deserve it. Nowadays, Maxwell is making his mark at South Dakota State. Well, 1 year ago, Maxwell Woods was leading Chanhassen on their way to the Prep Bowl and the State Football Championship in Class 5A. A year later, he's now in Brookings, South Dakota, playing football for South Dakota State. This is all part of the football journey. You were originally going to go to NDSU, and then you end up in Brookings. How did all that take place, and is life good in Brookings right now?
Yes, life is great in Brookings right now. I'm very happy with everything. Got a great roommate, school's great, and most importantly, the football and coaches are amazing. So teammates are great. It's been an amazing fit.
So why did you change your mind and end up going to South Dakota State? What was the reason for that?
So basically, I always kind of kept my options open just because I didn't know what all was gonna happen and everything. And obviously, Coach Entz, he not fired. He left to go somewhere else and take a new job. So that had me concerned. And then after the Prep Bowl, Coach Rouse, the running backs coach here, he actually texted me and told me, because I did have a scholarship. I had a scholarship here, but they only had a spot for one running back, and some other running back committed before I did, so I lost my scholarship in the summer. So then, so then I didn't really hear from him. And then right after the Prep Bowl, he just kind of texted me. He reached out to me again, and he just said he is like, look, like someone at the transfer portal, we have an open scholarship, and we want to use it on you. So, him and I, like when I came on my visit, we had a really cool relationship. So I'm like, I know it's the rival school, but I'm always going to keep my options open. And they were really good to me when I did come down here. So I gave it a chance. I went down on an official visit to the Villanova game in the playoffs actually, and just the visit was amazing. I mean, the coaches, the environment, the family, it just it felt perfect. It felt I I fit there, the culture and everything. Like it's just something I felt like I couldn't pass up on. So decided to make the decision.
Well, obviously, it's turned out to be a good one. What did playing for Chanhassen and playing for Cullen Nelson do to prepare you for where you are right now?
I think he prepared me great, and just the program. We have a Coach Nelson is he's not, I wouldn't say he's super strict, but like when it's time to get us focused and locked in, like he's gonna get us locked in, and very thankful for that because I mean, I really needed that. I needed someone that could really get me locked in as well as the guys, and just everything he did for me, like kind of growing up through high school, like he really helped me out a lot, and he taught me how to be not just a good football player, and also as well as the other coaches, but they taught me and my teammates just to be great people and great humans. So I learned a lot from them, and hopefully they keep doing what they do.
So there are high school players who will end up playing at different levels of college football, but all of them have one thing in common, and that is that it is time consuming. You put time into this. Talk a little bit about what that commitment looks like when you're at South Dakota State.
Yeah, it is definitely a commitment. I mean, it really like my with my first experience like with fall camp and everything, I mean, it shows it shows who really loves the sport or not. You see people when you go through it, you see people who it might not be for them, you see people who love it, you see people just kind of get burnt out. And um, honestly, I was one of those people who loved it, so I didn't feel like I had a super hard time with it. And a lot of my other freshman teammates also kind of were the same way. I mean, it wasn't too much of a problem for them, but it is very time consuming. I mean, we had some long days where we'd get there at 6:30 a.m. and we wouldn't be out the facility till 9:30 at night. So, I mean, it's very time consuming, but it really it really just like it's how you make it,
Yeah.
honestly. If you make it miserable, you're gonna be miserable. If you enjoy it, you'll enjoy it, and so on and so forth.
So people that remember you from last year are going to go, okay, here he is. He's Mr. Football from last year, and now you're not Mr. Football at South Dakota State. you're
Yeah,
you're just another running back in the room, right? So what has that transition been like for you?
it's been great. It's honestly good in a way because I mean, it's almost like I don't want to like make it sound cocky at all, but it's almost like you're almost at like the top of the mountain for a little bit, and then it's like you just get a reality check. Like, look, you still got a lot more climbing to do, this and that, and it was really good. I mean, we have a very talented running back room as well, and they I challenge them every day, they challenge me every day, and it's amazing. Great teammates are all super supportive for each other, and our coach keeps pushing us.
And that's what you want, right? I mean, that's what makes it
Yes, 100%.
not only a great football player, but helps you as a person too. For those that don't know, Maxwell last year, 2,465 all-purpose yards, 27 touchdowns, the Star Trib Player of the Year. You were on my Care 11 All Metro football team. You were Mr. Football last year. Lots of accolades and all well deserved. What do you remember? What sticks out to you the most, though, from your from your senior year at Chan? Is it the Prep Bowl? Is it that moment when you win the title? What is it that stands out for you?
Man, there's so many things I could say right now, like just because there were so many moments. I mean, just from beating Mankato West that first game, beating Mankato West our first meeting when we had the big rain delay, or
Oh, I
beating Elk
remember that.
River in the yep, beating Elk River in the season opener, or playing Mankato West again in the section championship and coming back down 10 points, I think it was, with 4 minutes left. Like, and then all the state games. I mean, they were like so many things to choose from. But yeah, I'd say out of all of them, definitely the state championship and just holding the trophy. Like that's something I'm going to remember forever. And it was truly amazing just having the opportunity to have that much fun with my teammates, my best friends that I've grown up with my whole life. It was truly a once in a lifetime experience.
So we're doing this interview on a Sunday morning because Maxwell can't do it on a Sunday evening because he has yoga. And we were laughing about this, but yoga is an important part of your, I guess, getting your body right after you play on a Saturday afternoon. Talk a little bit about what that has done for you.
Yes, so on Saturdays we have our games, which most college football teams do, obviously, and our coaches really push us. It is considered optional. It is considered optional, so you do have the option if you need got to get stuff done, you can stuff done. But most of the guys they go to it's called Be Well Fitness, and they host yoga for the football team, and basically it's just there's an instructor, a ton of guys in there, and you just kind of go through a lot of stretches, just stuff you do in yoga, and it's really good. It helps loosen up your body, and just helps you feel better after it's maybe a tough physical game.
Have you ever done that before? Did you do that in high school or is this the first time?
No, I mean I've done like a couple like stretching, and be well they do it in heat, so the room will be like 90 something degrees, like upper 90s, so
Sure.
you get a good sweat in too, so when you get out you feel really good because it's a little cold in there, so it feels really good. I have done something similar before that, over at one of my recovery places in Edina, Hyperthermics Recovery. If you are wondering, they do an amazing job at what they do. But they are different in a way. They have
Sure.
their different things. So both have been very helpful for me in getting my body right.
What would you say is the best advice that you've ever gotten from maybe it's a youth coach, maybe it was Coach Nelson, something that they said to you that has stuck with you all this time that maybe now when times get tough for you, don't feel like it's just hard for you to get up for a practice or for whatever, that you hear that in the back of your mind and it just kind of keeps you moving in the right direction. What would that be?
So for this, I came back for because I moved in early June for football. They got us doing lifts or whatever back then, but I came back for the 4th of July, and or no, it was right before fall camp, actually, not 4th of July. It was like end of July. And I was just at my recovery spot that I was just talking about earlier, and one of
Yeah.
the guys, he was once a defensive back for the Gophers, and he played in the league for a little bit. Now he's helping out other kids like with recovery and just getting their bodies right. And he kind of said, like it's like for college specifically, like people like they're gonna like just to live in the moment, that this is the only one opportunity you get, and you only get so many chances at this, because all whatever you want to say, like the partying girls, all that stuff, like it'll come later in life. This like college football and everything, this is like a one time thing. I mean, so just make the most of it, and because everything's gonna come later. So you just be the best you can possibly be, stay focused, and I really have thought about that all the time, like on tough fall camp days where it's like
Yeah.
you don't want to get up. It's like you only got really one chance at this, and you just want to be the best you can possibly be. And just hearing that, I just kind of hear that in the back of my head, and it's just like that's right. Just got to keep fighting through because hopefully one day it'll all pay off. So
Well, you're doing a great job. It's great to catch up with you. Congratulations on the next step in your football journey. We wish you nothing but the best of luck down the road. Thanks, Maxwell, for doing this.
yeah, no, thank you for having me, Randy. It was awesome getting to talk to you again.
When I met Jeff, the owner of Aquarius Home Services, I got it. He started the business in 1987 with one goal in mind: great customer service every single time. It's not a buzz phrase. Customer service is at the heart of Aquarius Home Services. I'm a customer. I see it, I feel it, and trust me, you will too. Cooling, heating, water treatment, plumbing, electrical, and more. Aquarius Home Services, earning the right to be recommended. Our Talk North games of the week this week: on Wednesday in the outstate unbeaten's Morris area takes on Fergus Falls. And the last team to beat Minnesota 27 games ago was Dawson Boyd. They meet on Wednesday night. In the Metro on Wednesday, how about unbeaten Armstrong at Andover in Class 5A? And Alexandria, after their tough loss to Moorhead, travels to face defending 5A champion Elk River. And in the Metro on Thursday afternoon in Class 6A, unbeaten Maple Grove, the only 6A team left undefeated, against Minnetonka. It's a 1:00 start. My next guest is the tackle machine from International Falls. Kane Thompson leads the state of Minnesota in total tackles, and it's not even close. Well, I have referred to International Falls linebacker Kane Thompson as the tackle machine, and the numbers don't lie, and we'll talk about those in a minute. But first, thanks for doing this, Kane. On Thursday night, you go to Aiken. You have 12 tackles in that game, 119 total tackles on the season, which is by far the most in the state of Minnesota right now. What is allowing you to have the kind of success that you're having on the defensive side of the ball?
Oh yeah, it's definitely my D line. They've been great all year. My partner Zach Hughes, so taking on those lead blockers for me.
And that obviously makes it easier for linebackers. Those guys take care of the initial blocks, that'll frees you up to make the plays, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you play middle linebacker? Is that what you play?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So describe yourself as a player. What do you think makes you a good linebacker?
I would say I'm a hard worker, and just watching film, just knowing what's coming is a big help too.
When you say watch film, what do you watch for? What are the things that you look for?
Just tendencies, like out of certain formations, we know what's coming.
International Falls plays a pretty competitive schedule. There's no doubt. In fact, you get undefeated Rush City coming up this week on Wednesday. Just describe your season. What kind of season has this been? You got off to a great start. You've lost now 2 in a row. Are you kind of where you thought you would be at this point, or not?
Yeah, I think we're doing pretty good, but those last two, I think we should have had them. They were close. We definitely wanted to win those ones, but yeah, we're pretty happy right now.
Talk about Aiken and that loss. What happened in that game? It was a close game.
Yeah. Just going into halftime, we let up too many big plays. I mean, the last few games, we just let up a big play before halftime, and then swings momentum.
And obviously, you can't do that if you want to accomplish the things that you guys want to accomplish. You guys are 5-2 on the year. The one thing that's intriguing for me in looking at a football player from International Falls is that you're way up there north on the Canadian border. So your guys' bus trips are incredible. Let me give you some examples that I looked it up. Mesabi East on September 13th, 2 hours and 15 minutes one way. To Greenway the next week, 2 hours one way. Last Thursday against Aiken, 3 hours one way. And when you play Rush City this coming Wednesday, it'll be a 3-hour, 48-minute bus ride one way. I cannot imagine how brutal those bus rides are. What do you do to occupy your time as a group on these bus rides?
Yeah, normally we'll just sit there and talk, or I'll just put my AirPods in and listen to music for it.
Do you guys do anything other than that? Does somebody bring a movie on a laptop, or I mean, what do you do to occupy your time?
Yeah, not really. We just talk. We'll just find stuff to talk about.
Yeah. The bus ride back has to be the worst though, right? Because getting
Yeah.
there is exciting, right? W- I mean, is that like the worst? You get you get on the bus at 9:45, 10 o'clock, and you know you've got a three. I suppose you guys are used to it though, right? This is just part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we get back at like midnight and you got to go to school the next morning. Yeah.
Well, not for well, for Wednesday you'll be MEA, so you'll be able to sleep in a little bit
Yeah.
on that Thursday. Um, what kind of goals did you set for yourself as a linebacker this year? Personal, I know everybody wants to go to state as a team, but personally for you, what were some of the things that you thought about you wanted to accomplish? And I have to imagine that whatever numbers you put out there, you've already exceeded those
Yeah.
with season you've had. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. I think I just wanted to reach 100 tackles at least. And then it's just taken off from there so far. And then I just want to win.
Last year, you're a 3-year starter. Have you had a year like this before, or is this kind of a breakout year for you?
I would say this is kind of a breakout year. Yeah.
What's made it that way for you? Because obviously, yes, you're getting help up front, but you're also having to make plays too.
Yeah. I think I got a lot bigger and faster this off season. So that helps a lot too.
When you say that, what happened in the off season? What kind of work did you put in, and how much good weight did you put on? Did you grow a little bit? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, last year I was about 185 coming into the season, and then this year I came in about 205, and then in the weight room a lot and running sprints and stuff too.
So your hope is that you'd like to play college football. That's
Yeah, for
something you
sure.
tell me about that process, and is it hard to get noticed when you're playing football at International Falls?
Yeah, it's such a small town. I think it's pretty hard. I just got Twitter, so I'm just messaging all the coaches on Twitter whenever they follow me or something.
Are you having some success or some coaches responding?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Well, obviously you've got a whole nother year to put this thing together, and you've got the summer uh, going into your senior year to do that as well. Um, seven Rush City is 7-0. What makes them so good? They beat Moose Lake this last week. They're the best team in your conference right now, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's because they just got a good quarterback this year. They got a lot bigger too.
Well, obviously you can take care of that on Wednesday night. That's going to be your number one job. Hey, Kane, thanks so much for doing this. Keep the success going. As I said, Kane Thompson, 119 total tackles so far this year, the most in the state of Minnesota. Good luck the rest of the way. Thanks, Kane.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet. These days, you can get a checking account, a credit card, or a mortgage just about anywhere. But what you can't always find is the personal touch of a neighborhood credit union like True Stone Financial. I've known the folks over at True Stone for years. They put people first. They take time with you, they get to know you, and they use their expertise to connect you with services that help you achieve financial well-being. True Stone is a not-for-profit financial institution owned by the very people they serve, and they're in your neighborhood. Visit truestone.org and get to know them, and they can't wait to get to know you too. True Stone is an equal housing opportunity lender. We all have go-tos, right? Well, mine is Culver's, and all you have to do is look at my social media for proof. I eat at Culver's almost every day, and I love matching my order number to a star athlete. But more than anything else, I love the food. It's fresh, it's delicious, and it's comfort. I feel good after stopping at Culver's. The people are friendly, the food is made to order, and it just makes me happy, truly. So if you're looking for your go-to, I have a recommendation. Culver's. Our Culver's player of the week is number 6, Kyson Evansky of Norwood Young America High School. He threw 3 touchdown passes in their win over Mayor Lutheran last Thursday night. Congratulations. And Culver's is looking for your player of the week for next week. Email your prep player of the week, name, jersey number, and high school to Culver's player at talknorth.com. The winner chosen gets either a free Butterburger or concrete mixer from Culver's. Well, my thanks to Breck High for their tackle cancer efforts and inviting me out to speak to the fans at halftime last Thursday night. Chaska Chanhassen held a joint tackle cancer game on Friday and raised a ton of money. And a special shout out to Randolph High, who reached their goal of $70,000 raised for tackle cancer. The Minnesota Football Coaches Association Tackle Cancer campaign is wrapping up, but not before some help from our neighbors to the east. A high school football team in Wisconsin is taking part again this fall because cancer knows no borders. Well, the Prescott Cardinals in western Wisconsin, not far from Hastings, lost a tough game on Friday night against Baldwin Woodville to drop their record to 7-1. Head coach Jordan Hansen joins me. Not only is Prescott having a really good football season record-wise, but you guys are also going to host a tackle cancer game on Friday night when you take on Ellsworth. Thanks for doing this. First of all, let's talk about football. Tough loss on Friday because you guys have been off to a great start, right?
Yeah, we've been. We got a lot of really good seniors. We have 17 seniors, which is a high number for us. A lot of them played as sophomores and took their lumps, and then just kept battling at it. And weight room has been a big part of that, and kind of got this thing turned around at Prescott. And we've had a really, really good season. Played a lot of really good teams throughout the year, and our conference is probably one of the best small school conferences in the state. So every week's it is a battle, and our kids have had a great season so far, and we had a tough one against Baldwin, but they're a really good football team as well, and there's a lot of things that you can take away from a loss. It sucks to lose, but there's a lot of things that you can take away from that, and better to lose in the regular season than turning your pads into the playoffs. So it's a good group. They're resilient. They're going to come back ready to go, and it's going to be a fun one for the tackle cancer game and against Ellsworth.
So put this into context for me, because I tried to do a little bit of research on your team. It's been a long time since you've won 7 games in a season, and your regular season still got 1 game left. But put it into context for us. How long has it been?
I think since 2000.
24 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And
wow.
One of our goals was to win the conference, because we've never won the conference since being in this conference. Since I think it was around 2004, we hopped in. Still have a slim chance. We got to take care of business on Friday against Ellsworth, and we'll need a little bit of help. But we put ourselves in position to have that opportunity against Baldwin in that game, and then now needing a little bit of help, still have an opportunity here at the end of the year. So it's very special. We are the smallest school in our conference. So it's definitely tough league to be in. I think if you looked at the last decade, I think there's 5 teams that have been in the state finals out of our conference, 5 different teams.
Wow.
So it's well-coached league, a lot of good teams, a lot of good football, and we're excited to be on the upper part of that, and look forward to a good playoff run.
Is Ellsworth a rival? Is this a big game other than being a tackle cancer game? And we'll talk about that in a minute. Facing Ellsworth, is this a big game for you guys?
Yeah, I think you could probably ask every community member here, and they would say, "Hey, it doesn't matter if you go 1-8 as long as you beat Ellsworth." So yeah, and they say the same thing up there about Prescott. So it's and at the end of the day, we know the coaching staff up there well. Our kids know their kids, but on the field, on the court, it's a battle, and you want to get those bragging rights. They're right down the road. We share that border, so it's our biggest rival, and a game that we're excited to play. And tackle cancer night couldn't be for a better game.
All right, so let's talk about that, because it is unusual for a Wisconsin high school to volunteer to do a TC game, because this tackle cancer was started by the Minnesota Football Coaches Association. So how did Prescott, and you did this last year, how did Prescott, Wisconsin get involved in TC?
I got to give all the credit to Angela McGee. She's our PCR director. She runs our youth stuff. She saw it, you guys doing shows and stuff, and saw Minnesota schools doing it. And she came to me and she's like, why can't we do it? And I was like, let's look into it. And that'd be a cool opportunity to do. And she prepped and did everything for us last year. And it was amazing. It was a great turnout. And she's like, you want to do it again? I'm like, that's a no-brainer. So I think it's something we'll continue to do every single year. And she does a tremendous job setting up everything and getting all the things that are going on throughout the pregame and during the game set up and taking care of all that stuff. So she's been phenomenal with that and helping us out there.
I think most people would say cancer knows no borders, right? I mean,
Right.
If someone in Wisconsin gets sick and they can find the help in Minnesota that they need, obviously that happens, and it vice versa too. So
Yep.
it's a great thing that you guys are doing. Hey, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. Good luck to you on Friday. If you win on Friday, what's the Wisconsin playoffs is, I don't know how it works.
Yep.
How does it work? Are you already in, or do you need to win to get in?
So Wisconsin works. You got to win half your conference games to get in. So you got to win 4 out of your 7 conference games. So we've done that. So we're in. They've had a lot of teams go to 8-man. So that's opened up a lot of schools. If you get 3 wins, you're probably going to get in now. So there's 7 divisions. The interesting thing with Wisconsin is you don't know what division you're going to be in really until that end of the season, last game, because you don't know what teams are in. So how they do it is they're going to take 224 teams no matter what. Then they're going to take the top 32 teams. That's Division I in enrollment wise, and then all the way down. And if you're in the middle, what
Right, where you land.
Yeah. But we land on the last team in 4 or one of the first teams in 5. So we won't really know what division we'll be in. So it's kind of exciting. It's fun. It makes the regular season, really mean something too. Like you have to go win some games to get in. So I like it that way. And but if you want to host playoff games, 8-1, we're probably going to host 1 or 2 games. 7-2, maybe hosting 1, but then you're playing on the road. So big game for us just to try to get a couple playoff games in front of our fans. And there's a lot of stuff going to be going on. We got a pregame tailgate. That's going to have hot dogs, brats. Certain Chevy is one of our sponsors. They're going to be handing out T-shirts and gear. We have a bunch of different prizes they're handing out as well. There's pink cheer gear that they're going to do. There's a raffle for breakfast with the team. There's jerseys that we're handing out, for pink jerseys that we wore last year that the team's going to sign. So there's a lot of different things going on.
You got a lot going on Friday night.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's going to be fun. And Emily Calabrese, she's one of our track coaches, just got diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. So we're kind of dedicating all this to her as well. And, having donations for you guys, but also having, people can write notes to her as well and be able to support her cause. And the community's really stepped up and for her. And that's kind of where we're going to donate or, kind of represent this game towards is her. So it's going to be a packed house, when you got 2 communities close together like that. It's going to be in 2 teams that are really good. Ellsworth's got a really, really good football team. They lost 1 close one early in the year. And then they lost to Baldwin as well in a really close game. So 2 similar football teams. It's going to be a fun game.
Well, that sounds just incredible. And we appreciate all that you're doing for Tackle Cancer, and good luck to you on Friday night. Jordan, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
My thanks to Jordan. And a reminder, we're back live this Friday morning, October 18th at 10 a.m. for the Class 6A Football Playoff Selection Show on YouTube at the Shaver Prep Football Podcast page. All the matchups revealed first right here on Talk North. Next week on this show, the captain of the New York Islanders and former Edina football star Anders Lee will join me in studio. Plus, the quarterback from Alexandria, 6'8" Chase Thompson, will join me as well as we preview the Minnesota football playoffs. For producer Alex Haugen and the great folks here at Talk North. Thanks for watching and listening, and we'll see you next week.